Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the channel, everyone. I wanted to start this channel off with something that, if you've been around the financial side of YouTube for very long, you've probably seen something like this before. And if not, let me be the first to introduce you to dividend payments. Very briefly, a dividend payment is a payment that you'll get typically from an ETF or stock simply for holding it. It's not guaranteed, never promised, but it is nice to have. It's, in my opinion, one of the best forms of passive income because you don't have to work for it. You simply invest in something and it grows from there. With that said, I want to be going over my Robinhood portfolio and the 31 payments that I received in the month of August 2022. I've had this portfolio for a few years. I had a couple $100s a month, and I'm planning on keeping it going. And I do want to go over my other portfolios at some point, but for today, it's just going to be Robinhood. Now, if we go into the history here and we select dividends, and we scroll down to the beginning of August, we can see that the first payment I received is from Verizon. I have about 4.5 shares at 64 cents for $2.88. Next up, that's AT&T. I have 25 shares for a little over 27 cents per share for $7.04. Pentair, I have a little over 1 share, 21 cents per share, 23 cents. Here we have the Van Eck Fallen Angel High Yield Dividend Fund. This one's an ETF. I have 2.4 shares. They pay monthly. However, the amount that they pay per month changes. This month it was just about 11 cents per share. Grand total 27 cents from them. Next we have AGNC. Now this one is a risky dividend company and they have a history of cutting their dividend. I feel like they're a hold and I have these shares here. I'm not going to be putting any more money into them. However, any payments from dividends I get, I will be reinvesting them, which is a pretty cool thing that Robinhood features as dividend reinvestment programs, or DRIP, as some people know them. Anyway, 42 shares here, 12 cents per share, $5.13. We have MasterCard here. This is a position that I have a couple dollars in, really not a lot. I want to add more to it. I just don't have the means to right now. But they pay 49 cents per share. I only got 1 cent. Like I said, very tiny position. I really just put a couple dollars in there to really get it into my portfolio, not to really go anywhere with it. Next, we have Nokia. They are an ADR, American Depository Receipt, basically a foreign company listed on the American Stock Exchange. I have 165 shares of them, paying a little over 1 cent per share for $1.98. Now, it would be more, but as an ADR, I'm subject to foreign taxes, so they did withhold $1.18. But at the end of the day, again, I got $1.98 from them. Next, we have Apple. A lot of people familiar with this. I have a little over 5 shares, 23 cents per share, $1.19. We have Owl Rock Capital Corporation next. They are a BDC. 18 shares for 31 cents per share, $5.65 payments. Oh, my bad. I skipped over AbbVie here. Giant Pharmaceutical that a lot of people are also familiar with. About 6 shares here, $1.41 per share for $8.45. Stag Industrials next. $10.8 shares here, a little over 12 cents per share for $1.32. Now we have O. Many people are familiar with this. It's a very popular REIT. It's about 12.25 shares for a little over 24 cents per share for a grand total $3.03. Next we have Main Street Capital Corporation. They're a BDC. $8, or my bad, 8.4 shares for 21.5 cents per share for $1.81. They do pay monthly, which is nice, and they have a history of actually increasing their dividend, however small. And I do want to grow this position. However, I also have it in 2 other portfolios, so I'm not really looking to grow the position in this portfolio. Citizens Financial Group, I have 1 share, 42 cents for 49 cents total because I just had a little over 1 share. Next, we have Prospect Capital. This is another company where I have a lot of shares. They're not necessarily an amazing dividend company. They have a history of cutting their dividend, and I would say they're pretty risky. They have a potentially high return, However, just looking at the company as a whole, they are pretty risky. So I'm going to hold the position. I'm going to keep it, but I don't plan on adding to it actively other than what the dividends get reinvested to. Anyway, I have 136 shares of Prospect Capital, 6 cents per share for $8.17. And you can see that it added a little over a share there, and they pay monthly. So next month, it'll be a little bit higher. And that's one of the best parts about dividend reinvestment, honestly. Next, we have Moelis and Company. They're a financial company. Almost 4 shares at 60 cents a share for $2.29. Now we have G&K, Genco Shipping and Trading. 16.7 shares at 50 cents per share, $8.36. Their dividends are variable based on supply chain. They were paying very small dividends for a while, then they jumped up very, very high, and this month is a little bit lower. And I expect their dividend will probably come back down. I think they're a great company as a whole, but again, because of supply and based on supply and demand and the supply chain as a whole, it's completely variable. Not good for people who are looking for stable stocks. We have EARN here, Ellington Residential. I have 6.2 shares at 8 cents per share for a total of 50 cents. Then we have Ellington Financial here at 11.8 shares, 15 cents per share, $1.77. And USOI, Credit Suisse, they are exchange traded notes. They're very high yielding, especially with the recent influx or recent increase in oil prices. However, they're not very stable, and as exchange traded notes, they can be removed from the exchange at any point in time. So your entire investment could go to zero. So I put a few dollars into them, and I'm just kind of letting them do their own thing, reinvest. I'm not going to actively add to it. But I do have 55 shares. Believe it or not, the majority of these shares were from dividend reinvestments. This month they paid me about 9.5 cents per share, and I got $5.23 total from them. Next, a lot of you are familiar with NUSI, NUSI, QILG, QILD, XYLD, or RYLD. I'm not going to go into those too much right now. I put $5 into each of them. I'm just going to let the dividends reinvest on their own. That's why the payments for these are so small. Many of you already have these in your portfolio and actually get paid a lot more from them than I do. I don't particularly find them great because their tax implications are a little complicated. They're not all qualified dividends. A lot of them are unqualified or even taxed as ordinary income. So I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I do have a little bit, just a few dollars in them, see where they go in a few years. Next, we have SPHD, another very popular dividend stock. It's the Invesco S&P High Dividend Low Volatility Fund. This is an ETF that I'd like to actually grow my position in. However, again, I have this in 3 different portfolios, similar to a few other shares of other ETFs or other companies. So in this particular portfolio, I'm not really looking to grow it too much more past what the dividend gives me and reinvest. But in this portfolio, I have 15.4 shares, paying a little over 14 cents per month. 14 cents per share this month for $2.17. And then going up from there, we have Great Ajax Corporation, 6.18 shares, 27 cents per share, $1.67 total. Then we have Arbor Realty Trust. They were a spin-off of Realty Income, I believe. That might be another REIT. I might be mistaken, but I think they were a spin-off of Realty Income. But I have a little over 2 shares. They pay 39 cents per share, so that's 82 cents. Then we have Good, which is Gladstone Commercial. They're a REIT. They have 9 shares here, a little over 9 shares at 12.5 cents per share, $1.14 total. Gladstone Capital Corporation, they're a BDC, 27 and a third shares, paying about 6 3/4 cents per share for $1.84 total. And then we have Gain here, 27.6 shares, 7.4 $2.05 per share for $2.07, and this is a closed-end fund. With all that said, the grand total for August is $75.98 from Robinhood, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's pretty cool seeing that that's reinvested. And assuming no dividend cuts, this time next year, I will be getting paid more than that just from these same companies. Well, for the most part, there are a couple variable ones here, but for the most part, I'll be getting paid more than I am now. And combine that with what I'm adding to this portfolio each month, and I'm looking at some pretty good growth. Anyways, this is just the introduction video to this channel. I want to be doing more of these. I want to slim down the portfolio so we don't have like this cluster of all these dividends. I'd rather have less companies with higher dividends and all these companies with smaller dividends. Also, this is one of the smallest months I've been paid in this year, actually, which is kind of surprising, but it is what it is. And in honesty speaking, again, I've had this portfolio a few years, adding a few $100s per month to it. Want to keep adding to it. But hey, if you like this video, please comment, like, comment, subscribe. I want to grow this channel. I want to share my knowledge with people. I'm not an investment specialist or advisor, not a financial expert in any way, just a guy who wants to, talk about finance and hope it helps someone else out. Anyway, with that said, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time.